Hey everybody, welcome to the UNSHAKABLE Show. Woo! Great to have you with us this evening. We've got the most precious, wonderful, friendly, loving, kind on our show tonight.
Amazing.
Wow.
That we love very much. We're going to get behind the scenes of C3 a little bit, and we're going to introduce you to some people involved in YA and young adults, for those of you who don't know what YA stands for, and Breathe Ministries. So guys, welcome this evening. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Tell us what you do at C3. We're going to start with Henry. Henry Comfort.
I'm just a C3 fan, really. No, I'm a part of Young Adults. I lead one of the small groups and get behind the likes of Brad and Danny, who lead the ministry. So, yeah, there's a bunch of us, probably about 8 or 9 of us, who are right behind these guys.
Brilliant.
Right.
So you mentioned Brad. Tell us what you do, Brad.
Yeah, so my wife Danny and I, we head up the Young Adults Ministry in Cambridge. So yeah, with Henry and the team there, we're kind of looking after what was mostly the YA Wednesdays, which is now looking slightly different, but the Young Adults Ministry as a whole within the church.
Yeah. So how has it changed now with COVID? What's been happening?
Yeah. So some context. Our main focus really throughout the term or throughout the year, I suppose, is our YA Wednesdays, where we gather for worship, for community. We have a short preach, and then we have our connect groups within that. So we all meet as one, and then we break down into our smaller groups. So what we've tried to do is kind of keep those key elements as we've gone to using Zoom. Seems life is on Zoom now. So we still have some worship. We've been doing some of that live. We've been doing some of that using some pre-recorded stuff. And then we've been still continuing with our preaching, our teaching series, and then continuing to have our groups break out from the main Zoom. And we've even managed to launch a new group whilst being online, which is great, because we've had not only people who've wanted to reconnect with us, who'd moved away physically before, but also people who have just sort of looked in and wanted to get involved. People who are part of C3 but hadn't been able to make it physically before were like, hey, now it's online, I can come and join. So interestingly, our numbers have kind of stayed almost flat. So we've almost not seen any change in terms of engagement and people coming. So that's been encouraging. From that respect, we've not lost people. And we're just trying to focus through the groups and just keeping in touch with everyone and just checking in on everyone, because they know that everyone's physically separated at the moment. So we're just trying to keep that sense of community as much as we can at the moment.
And how can people connect in with that then? How can they find out what platforms is it on? And
so mostly Instagram and Facebook is where we do a lot of our stuff. So if you follow us on Instagram or like our page on Facebook, you should see actually the team as well, Henry included, have been putting together some great devotionals every day. So that's going out on Facebook and on Instagram. And then our YA Wednesdays happen at thec3.uk/Zoom on Wednesday nights at 7:30. But again, if you follow us on social media, there's plenty of, hey, don't miss it, we're going to be here, reminders. So follow us on there, and that's the best way to connect in with us. And yeah, feel free to send us messages. We'd love to connect with people.
Right. Henry, why didn't you tell us a little bit about your journey with YA? How did you get involved, and what's it meant to you?
Well, for me, it was the thing that really drew me in, I think. So Young Adults Church in Cambridge was what I searched on Google. So I ended up at YA. There was a chap called Wes, who pursued me in church one day, come and found me, almost jumped on me and was like, come along on a Wednesday. So I ended up in YA, and yeah, that's where now my kind of family, church family and friends, and our small group, we do quite a lot together and whatnot. That's where the people are for me. Of course, church more broadly too, but really kind of core group through the small group, and it's just fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's been such a pivotal part of me coming to faith, but also me growing in faith, and to have leaders like Brad and Cy Beaumont before and whatnot, just people that have invested in me, but also all of us as young adults. It's been, just an incredible blessing to be a part of it. And yes, I've loved it.
What does a small group meeting look like then, or gathering? And how do you keep in touch beyond that, and how do you foster that sense of community?
Yeah, so we're quite fortunate, I think, in many sense, because we have, what, Brad, probably about seven or eight small groups?
8 now, yeah.
So, and we all come together on a Wednesday. We have when we're able to physically, but also now virtually on Zoom. And so we all come together, which is great because you get to see everyone, and then we kind of just splinter off. So when we're at the church on a Wednesday, we'll then sort of go to a different part of the building just within our small group, or now we go on separate Zoom calls. And you know, what does it look like? We kind of unpack the preach a little bit from that session, and talk through some of the scripture and the questions, and then just have fun, pray together, and then a lot of the time, you know, for a lot of the young adults that are part of young adults, you know, perhaps they've moved to Cambridge or they're entering a new life phase, and really this is their core group of friends. You know, for me, being in Cambridge, my family are now in London. You know, these are our people, and then, you know, we can encourage one another to take this out into our workplaces and into our other sort of groups of friends and whatnot. So there's lots of stuff that's done socially, barbecues now that sun's out, when we can be together again, and stuff like that. So it's quite social outside of Wednesday too.
And is there an age group, particular age group you're targeting, Brad?
Yeah, so we're 18 is minimum age, and then we used to say 18 to 30, but now a few of us as leaders are a bit older, so we say 18 to 30s. But yeah, I mean, definitely 18 to 30s, but we'd encourage people to come along and try it and see if you feel like it's, if it suits you. You know, we have people that are a little bit younger that come along and say, actually, I prefer to be in a more classical, like, home group within a family kind of setting, and others who are a little bit older but still feel connected to the, you know, that young adult. It's more of a life stage, I suppose, than an actual age. So you have a lot of young professionals, and then people who are going into their early 30s who are still kind of in that mindset, and so they come along and get connected. So especially now's a great time to come and try out, because you can just sign in online on the 7:30 on a Wednesday and check out what's going on and kind of get a bit of the vibe and the culture, and hopefully kind of look in that way and then stick around. But yeah, and just to kind of, just to say on Henry, what Henry was saying about the groups, you know, we love people like Henry, because Henry came along, and right from the start, you could see that he got that fundamental aspect of what we're about, which is the community and the connect groups, and the way that he gathers people and loves people. And that's what the groups are about. And that's why Henry's now leading a group, because he gets that it's about that drawing people in to gather, and then we scatter and we go and we be the light. We go out and we do all that, but that gathering and encouraging and praying together and supporting is what we're all about, and Henry exemplifies that so well.
Well, we love the way you guys haven't missed a beat. You've just kept going over a whole new reality, I know, on Zoom, but you've done it brilliantly. So thank you for all you've been doing.
Well, Brad wouldn't even let us have any time off for the Easter holidays. Normally, he lets us have it.
Well done, Brad.
You've got to keep working now.
Well done.
We've not just missed a beat; we've been beating him faster.
Yeah.
Hey, I might come back to you two guys at the end of this interview. We're just going to bring someone else in now, but to ask your view on the Football League and how it should conclude at the end of this year. Just wait on that one, and I'll maybe come back if we get time. I know some people aren't in the least bit interested, but I am.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go straight over to Katie Campbell. Katie, are you with us there? Tell us what your role is, Katie, in the church, and particularly maybe some of the connection with YA you've had recently.
Yeah, I have the privilege of, I'm absolutely not interested in the Football League, just putting that out there at the end, so just saying. But yeah, the privilege of overseeing noughts to 30s, so looking at how we can link together kids, youth and young adults to be a bit more of a discipleship pathway across both our Cambridge and Bury sites. And then I also get the honour of helping Angie with all our Breathe ministry, so all our women's ministry that we do as a church. So we have small groups which fall under Breathe Women, and then events. Yeah.
Wow. So there's been small groups for Breathe carrying on, and you say events. Obviously we can't do the Breathe conference this year in the way it was planned. So can you tell us what is going to happen?
Yeah, we have been busy. So we've carried on with our creative team meetings saying, okay, it doesn't look like what we planned. Let's go back to the drawing board. But how can we take some of what we had planned and still create something online? Because we still want to gather and we still want to be together. And so the team have come up with amazing ideas so that on the Saturday that Breathe conference was going to happen, the 16th of May, we're going to gather in the evening and we're going to have a Breathe night in. So we're taking some of our favourite bits of conference, some of the fun elements, and we're going to pack it in and condense it into one evening of fun from your sofa or your bed or wherever you're going to watch from on the 16th of May.
Wow, that's good. Very creative. I look forward to that. Obviously now it's Breathe Women's Conference, but if it's in the homes and if it's in the bedroom or on the settee, I could be sitting there as well, couldn't I?
Come, Stu. Just got to pay your £5, but you can come.
All right. Okay, that's the deal. All right. Thank you very much. So how have you been finding it, just a little bit broadening the conversation, with working from home? You've got a young child.
Yeah.
What's been some of the joys of that and the tensions?
Yeah. Joys have been, I think the first week, both my husband Josh and I, we were like, wow, we haven't really been so present to Caleb, because every minute we were kind of checking emails or whatever. And the joy has been in the last few weeks is getting into a rhythm where actually one of us will be working and the other one will be fully present with Caleb. And I've started just to try in that time where I'm the main childcare for him, to not look at my phone, to not kind of be distracted with work, because it's always going to be there, but actually have a routine of a rhythm that actually the time that we do get, I'm going to be fully present. And that's been such a joy, because you realize that actually in those moments where you're not present, you miss so many of those little moments that are precious and are hilarious. Like, he's just started getting naked. That's his new thing, and it's not very pretty. He's only 2, but it's hilarious, and we just laugh, and it's good fun. And then the tensions have been, probably for us, our main work time now that we are the most productive is the evenings, because Caleb's asleep from 7 o'clock. So it's being home and having a lot of time as a couple, but actually not much quality time. And so we've just started looking this week. Actually, we're still going to have a date night. So tonight we're going to join some friends on Zoom, and we're going to have a dinner party all together. And we thought maybe we'll get dressed up. Maybe we'll make it special. So finding joy in the tension, I guess.
That's great. That's great. So back to Breathe. How can someone who wants to come to the conference book on for that? You
can head to our website, which is breathe.thec3.uk. And anyone who was already booked into the conference, as it was going to be, is booked in already. So they don't need to do anything. They're going to have a link sent direct to them. But then now anyone can join. So it's just going to be £5, and you can sign in for the evening and join us.
Yeah,
great.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting my preach ready. There's going to be a preach, and there's going to be all sorts of fun elements, isn't it? So, in fact, a couple of my friends across the country have booked in already. They couldn't come to travel be here. In fact, one lady is in Australia who used to be at C3, and she's excited that she's going to be part of it. So the reach is wide. It's amazing, isn't it, in this digital world?
Yeah.
That actually the reach can be so much further, so much wider. And you guys have been doing something on these moments as well, Katie. On to Brad. Hi, Brad. Tell us a little bit about these moments.
That's been just a bit of fun. We've done 2 weeks so far, and we just wanted to take a moment on the Breathe Facebook and Instagram page to go live, really just with some friends within the C3 family, all women, just talking about some stuff that's very real to them at the moment. So how are you homeschooling? How are you building relationship? How are we still impacting our world even though we're stuck in our homes? And taking a moment to talk about how as ordinary women we can still do these supernatural things with God without leaving our houses. It's been really fun.
Right.
If I may just say though, you and all the women that have been interviewed are by no means ordinary women.
Thanks.
I know you think you are, but you're not. You're amazing. So thanks for all you've been doing. Just that's from what you just mentioned there, these moments. That's from the run-of-the-mill, nothing's run-of-the-mill either, but the regular Breathe groups. So people want to get involved in that, they can do as well?
Yeah.
Or online?
Yeah. So if you wanted to get involved in, because we're still doing small groups, and I love actually what Henry and Brad were saying about it being almost busier than ever, our Breathe Women Connect group WhatsApp chats, there's been so many more messages than normal, because normally we'd meet on a Thursday fortnightly at the C3 Centre in Cambridge, and then that was kind of it for 2 weeks, whereas now there's daily praise reports and prayer requests, and it's actually in some ways weirdly brought us closer together. And so they're available to join. If anyone wants to join one of those chats, which is ongoing, and connection that's ongoing, they can just direct message us on either the Breathe Instagram or Facebook page, and we'll set them up with that.
Right. Thank you. So you said you're not interested in the football, so and there's going to be lots of listeners who aren't in the least bit interested in this, but I'm going to come to Bradley, who is a Barcelona fan. Is that correct?
That is correct, Steve. Yeah.
So,
you still,
yeah.
Who am I to wonder why?
I mean, no one could go to any game, so it doesn't matter how far away your team are at the moment.
That's right. So what should we do with the English Football League?
Oh, I think they should just cancel the season, Steve, don't you?
Oh,
null and void. Just forget it.
Right, that's it. You're fired.
No, in all honesty, I think Henry's the man who should answer, because he's the one that's worked in football. I'm just a punter.
Yeah, okay, Henry. We're coming over to you for the definitive answer on the English Football League. What should we do?
I think we need to rent like a Caribbean island, which is completely untouched by humans. Put all the footballers there, quarantine them for a bit, and then just play a game a day. Imagine how good it would be. You'd be working from home, have a game there. Think how many games we could watch. I think it'd be brilliant.
Well, there's a novel suggestion that no one else in the country has come up with.
It's also definitely probably not coronavirus friendly. So let's not take that one seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think my view is they should play the last few games just to prove, particularly in the Premier League, and I know there's more than a Premier League, but just play the last few games so as that we know Liverpool are the Premier League champions.
That's the fear, isn't it, Steve, that they cancel it and Liverpool don't get their title. We know that's what's really in your heart right now.
Yeah.
It's Man United fans I'm worried about, who forever will say we didn't really win it if they just give it to us now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know lots of you watching are not the least bit interested. It's important stuff to some of us.
We know what you're praying for, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else we need to cover,
No,
Angie?
I think we're good. Great to have them. Yeah.
Yeah, we're grateful to you guys. We love you lots and appreciate all that you're doing. You exemplify what we finished the show with, which is truly we are
C3, wherever we are.
You're making